George, do you like Titanfall?
Bro, like is an understatement. I love that game. Before the finals, I would have said that was my #1 shooter.
Dang.
Now the finals taking that place, but Titanfall is a very close second. And maybe it's only second because I played Titanfall towards the tail end of its popularity. So maybe when I had full lobbies, wasn't waiting 5 minutes to get in, maybe it would have changed my, definitely would have changed my experience. But yeah.
Well, we got some potential great news for you and everyone else who's interested in Titanfall 3 because apparently leaker Osvaldator has released some information just recently saying that a Titanfall 3 is coming. And we're going to go through a couple of points here, or several points here, because this is a bit of a tricky situation. So apparently, from what we were able to gather, this guy that I will now call Oswald is a Apex leaker of quite a strong variety. They've been leaking stuff about Apex for quite a while, and they've been incredibly consistent as well. There's a couple, at least one other leaker that's going along with Oswald that is saying that this is true, that they're corroborating. However, there's another prominent leaker, Jeff Grubb, who's also very credible, who has said that this is complete bubkus, and he doesn't think it's real at all. So we're at a credible leaker standoff here. But however, people are saying, the word on the street is that Oswald probably has connections and information specific to Respawn, the company that makes Apex and is allegedly making Titanfall 3, that gives them information that Jeff Grubb wouldn't have access to because of his unique connection. How do you feel about that scenario? Do you think that's a plausible scenario?
I feel like for someone as credible as Osvaldo Torres, he's been to stake their reputation so strongly, and especially continuing to do so after someone like Jeff Grubb says this is BS, gives it a lot of weight. The rational part of my brain knows that I've been waiting for Titanfall 3 for ages.
Right.
And so I am not getting my hopes up. I am ready for this to come out and all be nonsense and Osvaldator to be discredited.
Right.
But I would love for them to be correct because Titanfall 3 would be amazing.
I mean, they were saying, I was reading some conversation, that Apex didn't really get any leaks leading up to its release. It was quite a surprise. Now, there were some leaks under a year out from its release, but not a lot. And that looks pretty dang similar to what's happening right now. It's pretty much exactly, we're probably under a year away. It'll probably release this year, and we're getting some leaks, so everything's starting to line up. I lean on the side that this is very likely, I would say. It doesn't make sense that not just one, but multiple credible leakers that have a reputation of leaking stuff consistently, have a connection to this particular company, are going to ruin their reputation by going all in on this. And they have gone all in. Like they're doing it in detail. So let's get on with those details. So they're going to switch from the Source engine, which is what Apex is using, from what I understand, to the Unreal Engine 5, which I think is good. I think it'll make the game look better. There's lots of little issues with the Unreal 5 engine for sure. Shader compilation is a big thing with the Unreal Engine, kind of obnoxious historically, but you know.
With the amount of support Unreal 5 is getting, though, I feel like this is a good move.
Yes, for sure it's a good move, but modern gaming is what it is, so almost can't complain too much about that. It's almost done, so I'm expecting a launch this year. Almost done sounds like an 80% marker, right? That's almost or more. Single player campaign, which is cool. The single player campaign for Apex, or not Apex, for Titanfall 2 was pretty cool.
It was really good. Yeah,
so,
I liked it.
Yeah, definitely cool with that. Live service video game in my 2025? What? With battle passes and likely microtransactions? George, could you believe that? Could that be a real thing?
Honestly, if it makes the game stay playable for longer, I'm actually okay with that.
Yeah.
I don't have to engage with the battle pass if I don't want to.
100%.
And having EA get behind the game if there's a battle pass, if that's what it takes, I will take a battle pass to have a Titanfall 3 on my Steam library.
Abso-freaking-lutely. In fact, if the characters are as butt ugly as they are in Apex Legends, then I won't be tempted to use any of the microtransactions and cosmetics that they'll try and sell me. I'll just play the game for free because my gosh, that game is fucking ugly. Those characters are nasty.
Listen, man, Titanfall 3 should be just as much about the Titans as it is about the characters, and they better give us some epic and sick mechs.
Now
what the pilots look like, I don't really care. I never see my pilot, but I do see my mech quite often. So I want a cool, sick-looking mech.
That's a great point. Also, a lot of the pilots have helmets and stuff. So I could be sold on cool, like, plug suits or whatever they're called in this series, right? And, like, cool helmets and stuff and definitely cool mechs. That would be sick. So, okay, yeah, that would be a problem for me.
The one thing I'm a little bit kind of iffy on, their main mode is going to be an extraction shooter. An extraction mode. I don't know how I feel about that. They do say that there's going to be other modes like Team Deathmatch and Control and all the classic Titanfall modes. That would be a fine compromise, I guess, even if that word's even appropriate, because an extraction shooter for Titanfall would just change the dynamic too much. Titanfall to me is an arena shooter. The gunplay with an extraction shooter changes dramatically. The type of risks, not that with like Team Deathmatch or whatever, you are incentivized to take risks, but you kind of are a little bit. You can be a little bit more reckless and try cool things that you wouldn't otherwise in an extraction mode where you're like got one life and if you're dead, you're dead. Maybe your teammates can revive you, but it's not the same thing. It's not respawning like you can with Team Deathmatch. So having that as the main mode, it might be a thing where like they put it as the main mode and the community just outright rejects it. It just keeps playing Team Deathmatch. We'll see.
Right.
But yeah, that's kind of the one thing that I'm a little iffy on.
Yeah, I think Team Deathmatch is great. I've grown up on Team Deathmatch. I played Unreal Tournament just a ridiculous amount of hours in my youth, as well as lots of other Team Deathmatchy type games. And I think it's great. I love that. But honestly, I see a lot of people complaining about, oh, another extraction shooter. Bro, where are the extraction shooters that you're complaining about? Because I don't freaking see them. There's like one, Escape from Tarkov, and quite honestly, I've never played that game, and I'm sure it's fine. But I barely have seen any big extraction shooters, and I like PvEVP games, and like Dark and Darker, we had a lot of fun with. I'm not opposed to having some PvP in my PvE. In fact, it can make it more fun. Look at V Rising. V Rising is a much more boring game without the PvP aspect. So I think this is great. I am very excited, more excited about the extraction mode than any other mode that they have listed here. And I'll use the Team Deathmatch arena modes to practice my fighting so that when I'm playing my main mode of extraction, that I'll be ready to go and fight people at a moment's notice.
Yeah, see, that's my point. I don't think it's going to translate one-to-one. Obviously, you know, some of the gunplay will translate, but like with an extraction shooter, and again, it depends how they implement the mode, but it's usually a very large arena. It's not like this enclosed thing where you can jump from wall to wall as you can in Titanfall. It's usually a very isolated gunfights. It's not this like hyper intense freaking go that Titanfall 2 is in Team Deathmatch and stuff. So yeah, like, do we need more extraction shooters? I mean, feels like a lot of the ones that have been announced recently, like Marathon and Arc Raiders, are extraction shooters. Do we need another one? There's not a lot. So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be against an extraction mode. Having it be the main mode, and sounds like it's going to be the one they're going to support and do more updates for. Not that you can do a whole lot of updates for Team Deathmatch, but anyways, I feel like, I don't know, it's not the same high octane gunplay that I'm used to in Titanfall. And so that's why I'm disappointed in it. It's not what I want.
That's fair enough. Though we don't know what the extraction mode's going to look like entirely, right? So it could be.
That's why I'm holding some judgment. Yeah, I'm holding some judgment because at the end of the day, what matters most is a good execution. But even like a perfect execution of your traditional extraction mode, it's nothing like the Titanfall that I know and love. So it would have to be a very Titanfall-ized, however you say it, extraction mode.
Right. Yeah, that's fair enough. I think we need and this is dumb, but I'm going to say it anyway, so I'm just trying to extrapolate a point here. I think we need a Fortnite of extraction shooters. And we don't have that. Like, Escape from Tarkov is the most popular, but it's not ubiquitously popular. And we've had our PUBG, and we've had our Fortnite for Battle Royale games. I think we need an extraction shooter that's just hella good, so good that like tons of people are playing it, and that genre gets really big. I'm not opposed to playing things that are popular.
With that. Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So I think it's totally fine. If it comes really popular, if it's Titanfall 3, or if it's Destiny's new one, or if it's whatever this Ark Raiders of the Lost Ark nonsense is, then, you know, yeah, sure, I'll play that too. Whatever it is, I just want good, fun video games. I don't care if it's popular. In fact, sometimes it's better when it's popular because it's easier to find people to play with, like in your friend group. They're going to get more money, so they get more updates. As long as they don't go like too predatory, which sometimes people do, but it is what it is, then you know what? Totally fine. I'm totally fine with that. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm optimistic. I understand that people have some reservations, but you know what? All the old modes are there, so if you don't like it, George, you can play one and I'll play the other, and we'll both be supporting the game.
That's the best part, actually. That's the best part. All the Titanfall 2 classic modes are in. I played all of them. My favorite was still Team Deathmatch, but just more modes is always good. And I hope this game is incredibly popular, like you're saying, so that every mode has quick queue times, and everyone's able to get in and play the mode that they want. That would be amazing. And I also agree, a popular extraction shooter would be awesome. Whether it's Titanfall 3, if anyone can actually do it, I think it'd be Embark. The work they've done with the finals has been fantastic. We have a whole video on the channel about it. If they can do to the extraction genre what they did with the finals, bro, that game's gonna be chef's kiss, and I will play it as well.
If you had to choose between, this is a little bit tangential, but if you had to choose between Respawn or Embark, was it? That's the company for the finals? Yeah, for finals. Mm-hmm. Who would you want your ideal game from if you had to pick?
Probably Embark. The love and care that they showed, because unfortunately, Respawn is under EA's thumb. So they can't do much more if EA won't allow it. Whereas Embark is their own, they're free agents, so whatever they want to do goes, and they've put so much love and care into everything they do. It's fantastic.
Well, unfortunately, I dislike both of them because they both have incredibly ugly characters, and it just bothers me on a freaking existential level when games have just like purposefully ugly freaking characters. Call me petty and shallow, that's fine, absolutely I am. But I expect my characters to be attractive on both gender sections, and that's what I want. I don't want to play games where I'm playing ugly characters and I see ugly characters constantly. It just bothers me. It's stupid and petty, but it is what it is.
I haven't thought that once about the finals. Not that I thought these were attractive characters, just that the look of their face has never been a factor in any event.
You're a normal, well-adjusted human being, and I am a freaking weeb gooner. So it's we have very different priorities. So what do you feel about Apex characters returning, or I guess not returning, but like appearing in Titanfall 3?
I feel like that's pretty cool. They did very little blending between the Apex world and Titanfall, even though they're set in the same universe. I feel like more blending of the two universes is actually going to be very good for Titanfall 3 because Apex was wildly popular, and so bringing some of that over, it's going to have freaking brand recognition and all that stuff that comes with it, so I think it'll be good.
Interesting. I genuinely expected you to be like, no, this is lame, this isn't what Titanfall is all about, blah, 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 blah. Huh, okay.
Listen, Titanfall to me is the gameplay. Everything else is tangential. The characters could be stick figures, and if it plays the same, and you got cool mechs, I mean, at the end of the day, you're in a suit, right? So it doesn't really matter too much. But like, if it's a stick figure in there, and like, somehow magically the stick universe took over Titanfall, but the gameplay is the same, fantastic. I'm all here for it.
Okay, so I really thought this was quite interesting. I think if this point is true, it does actually tell us a lot more about the game than you would think. If they're bringing in Apex characters, you would think that the pilots are going to be a lot more fleshed out and unique and powerful from an abilities perspective than they were in Titanfall. Do you feel like this could indicate there is a heavy merging of like, we're going to get way more out of pilots than we've ever gotten? And B, does that also mean that we're going to get more out of Titans than we've ever gotten as well? Are they both being elevated, or do you think pilots alone are being kind of elevated?
Maybe both. That's a good question. Like all the, well, not all, but a lot of the Apex abilities that are isolated to a character are just simply pilot abilities. They were part of your loadout. So like the grapple hook, the recon senses or whatever they're called, like the invisibility stuff that Wraith, I think her name is, has. All those were abilities that pilots could use in Titanfall 2. And then you just repurpose them to be part of like a character in Apex. However, like Apex has evolved beyond that, and now there's a bunch of characters that have abilities that didn't exist in Titanfall. Some of those I don't necessarily think could translate very good to Titanfall. Not its fast gameplay. Maybe in an extraction mode where things are a little slower, it might work better, but certainly not in the fast arena team deathmatch. But yeah, it would feel odd to give the pilots a bunch of new abilities and then not have additional mechs. I don't think the existing mechs are probably going to be changed that much. I think what's going to happen is we're going to get additional mechs with new abilities. Because I feel like the mechs that we did have in Titanfall 2, they're like perfect. I don't want them changed. Maybe that's the old man yells at cloud in me that wants things to stay the same. But I like those mechs that we had the way they were. I'm okay with more abilities in new mechs.
Okay, fair enough. I have one final very important question. There was a major difference between Titanfall 1 and 2 that I personally was really upset that they changed, which is when you get into your Titan, in Titanfall 1, it's first person, and in Titanfall 2, it switches out to a third-person camera. I didn't like that change at all. It totally ruined the magic of getting in mechs for me. It was so fucking sad because it was genuinely one of my favorite parts. I felt so cool getting in the fucking mech. Do you think they will at least give us an option, but do you think that they'll bring back the first person getting in your mech?
So I agree. First person is cooler. However, third person is more strategically viable. Because you could see someone getting on your pilot, or you can see people like running behind you or whatever when you're in third person. Where in your first person, I didn't play a ton of Titanfall 1, but I want to say you couldn't see as much. So I think giving you a choice would probably be the best way to go. I'll stick to, because I'm a freaking sweaty shooter gamer, freaking every little bit of advantage I can get, I'll take. I'll stick with third person so I can see people around me, but, you know, being able to choose is fine.
Okay. Yeah, being able to choose would be nice. Yeah, it's interesting. I hope they bring that first-person entry back, but you know, I guess at the end of the day, it's not too bad. But it would definitely help. I really like selling that fantasy in games, like being able to deliver on that fantasy. So that's a big part of it for me. So I guess we'll have to see. Well, George, it's very exciting.
Oh, please let it be true. I'm not letting myself get hype. I am keeping all my emotions close to my chest. If it's true, that would be amazing. We'll have to see.
We'll have to see.
All right. Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed this little discussion. Let us know if you want Titanfall 3 down in the comments. Let us know what your ideal Titanfall 3 would look like. Please let this be true, because if it's not, I will be very sad. But with that, we'll catch you guys next time.
See you, everybody.